Delighted to welcome you all to the 2017 AFS Scriptwriting Program pitching session. The AFS Scriptwriting Program is an annual 5-month training initiative and partnership between the Dubai Film Market and Image Nation's Arab Film Studio, which gives emerging screenwriters professional coaching in script development and pitching. Back for a second year, 4 finalists have been selected among 8 participants to pitch their short scripts to our esteemed panel of judges for the chance to win 100,000 dirhams towards realizing their project. I'll just quickly introduce our judges. We have Rami Yassin, director and producer of Breakout Films; Sophie Buttress, writer and director of Jam Productions; Tracy Grant, VP of Content and Channels Middle East from Viacom International; and our pitching coach is Stefano Tealdi. Before I hand over, I'd just like to call up Zaid Abu Hamdan, AFS mentor, to just say a few words.
I don't think he's in the room.
Hello, guys. Good morning. I'm sorry I wasn't trying to make an entrance, but I want to give you just a brief about AFS. AFS is an imagination initiative that aims to nurture and find talented young filmmakers, writers, documentary filmmakers to develop their talent and basically create a pool of professional talent for the future of the country. AFS started in 2012 with the Narrative Program, a program that selects 6 to 8 participants, develops their scripts, and produces their movies within a 6-month period. In 2014, the documentary program also was initiated, and in 2015, the Young Filmmakers Program, and finally the 2016 Screenwriting Program, and this is the 2nd year of it. Personally, as the mentor of the program, I've seen a lot of wonderful development in these students, of course, with the tireless efforts of Alicia Gonzalez. She's the unsung hero of the program. We have. And I've seen a lot of young filmmakers that come in the program and start from zero, basically from scratch. And it's not an educational institution, but it's like a shorter-term program. But they do develop a lot, and I see a lot of promise in these students, and I really hope you enjoy the pitches tonight. I would like to present producer and amazing pitch coach, Stefano.
Phone working? Good morning. Oh, what a nice big room. Thank you very much for coming, all of you. I think we will enjoy these projects. We worked on 8 scripts during the last 3 days, and then a first selection was made of 4, which will be pitched to you today. But I assure you that also the other 4 are very interesting, so try to catch up with those too. As in all pitching forums, we will have 5 to 6 minutes time dedicated to their pitch. They are all young scriptwriters and filmmakers who are going to pitch their project. And then we'll have another 5-6 minutes for questions from the panel. Thank you very much for having accepted the invitation, and we are really looking forward to your feedback. This is like the sort of the end of the training program, but also the one that will launch them, we hope, into the future of making films. So it's very important. I'm a producer, a documentary producer myself, and I have to pitch my projects, and I know what it means, being in front of a big room like this. So let's give them the respect they need while they're pitching. Let's try to keep silent. If you need to leave the room, wait for the end of the pitch to do that. Let's switch off our mobile phones now. I know some of you have 2 or 3 in your pockets. Remember to switch them all off. I have to do that with mine too, by the way. Okay, so without any other time, let's go to the first project. It's called Skin Deep, and it's presented by Kamna Homan. Kamna Mohan. She's Indian, but living in Dubai. She's been living in Dubai all her life. So let's give a warm welcome to Kamna.
Good morning. My name is Kamna Mohan, and I'm a writer. And I'm here to present my film, Skin Deep, which is essentially an eczema comedy. I know what you're all thinking. A comedy about a severe skin condition? How do you write that? Well, I can tell you that I believe that humor is often the best way to deal with the most trying situations, and you can find humor in any trying situation. Skin Deep is about a young writer named Zara, who has suffered with severe facial eczema ever since she was a little girl. The film opens with Zara at 13, who's having her picture taken on the first day of school. And she has severe red rashes, but she still has to take a photograph. Her classmates all laugh at her, and she's traumatized by the incident. We cut to the present day, and Zara is in her mid-20s. She's a successful writer and blogger, but she still has her eczema flare-ups, but sorry about that. And she's able to travel to Dubai for her first ever book signing in public. Unfortunately, the airline she's traveled on has lost her luggage, and she's unable to have access to the specific makeup that she needs for her condition. And to make matters even worse, she finds out that her idol, an academic scholar who's very attractive, Montgomery Quinn, will be at the event. She tries to call the event coordinator to get away with it, but the event coordinator won't have any of it, and she insists that Zara comes there ASAP. So Zara is forced to leave the hotel room barefaced with dry patches and severe redness. She hopes that the day will go smoothly, but unfortunately, on the biggest day of her career, everything that can go wrong goes horrendously wrong. The people she meets give her inappropriate reactions and make really rude comments. There's even a girl who's a young teenager who keeps stalking her and grinning awkwardly. Zara has had enough of the day, and to top matters off, she even embarrasses herself in front of Montgomery Quinn by banging headfirst into a glass door while running away from him. She takes refuge in the restroom after the tiring day she's had, and she meets a woman there who's applying concealer. She borrows the concealer only to find out that it is ashy and cakey on her, and she feels like she looks like a clown. She goes to the woman to ask if she can step out in public like that, but the woman has left the restroom, apparently in repulsion. Zara has a nervous breakdown and decides that she's going to quit everything and just go back home. It is then that she runs into the teenage girl again, who has severe acne, and tells Zara that she is her biggest fan, and that her writing has inspired her for several years. Zara then realizes through this conversation that her insecurities are superficial, and her self-worth is not measured by her skin. She decides to go to the event and face the day and tackle her insecurities. Even when her luggage is found, Zara decides to turn it down and not use anything. She has a confident conversation with Montgomery Quinn, and she's able to feel better about herself. Unfortunately, when she steps on stage, she trips and falls over underneath the huge spotlight and in front of a big audience. Instead of running away like she normally would, Zara stands up, laughs at herself, cracks a joke with the audience, and continues the event. She even has the confidence to take a photograph of herself. I wrote this film because I'm a lifelong sufferer of eczema, and I wanted to shed a light on what sufferers of skin disease go through on a daily basis. And in fact, the reactions and comments that people say in the film are things that people have really said to me throughout the years. Well, except the glass door thing, that never really happened. I just want to empower people to believe in themselves, regardless of their insecurities. Most of them are superficial and can be tackled. And after all, beauty is only skin deep. Thank you very much.
Very good. Okay. Reactions, comments, any questions you'd like to ask? Come now. Yes, Rami.
First, I want to say for myself and on behalf of all three of us, we're very excited to be here. Thank you very much for inviting us to this wonderful program. Thanks for the pitch. I think it was pretty engaging, and obviously you've rehearsed and you prepared it quite well. I have a comment and a question.
Yeah, sure.
The question is, first let me give the comment. I think the pitch was really nice and engaging. I would have maybe started with why you wrote the story before the story, because it's always good for you know, a jury or anyone you're pitching to try and understand why this specific filmmaker, whether you're a writer, director, or producer, is telling this story. And it always just adds another layer of personal engagement with the story, which is sort of really nice. Not that it takes away from your pitch, but it's just a comment for the future as you go forward. The question I have is, why did you feel you needed to start with the flashback?
It's because I feel like most of our insecurities and most of the way we are in our adult life, those events in our childhood shape us way into adulthood. And I feel like not enough emphasis is sort of given on bullying and how, you know, people feel when they're slightly different from other people. So that is what I was trying to convey in my story. And also being in public in such a on such an event reminds her of that flashback.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Very good answer.
Yeah.
Great, come there. Sophie.
Is this working? Yes. Hi. First, I would like to congratulate you for doing the pitch, because my first pitch in my entire life, I've done it at the age of 41. So, and I was really terrified. You did an amazing job, and I'm sure everybody will. I would like to also congratulate you for choosing a story that is very personal, because I think this is where you can really, where you really know the world of your story, and you can describe it very well. You know it very well, and it really shows in your writing. Now I'm talking about the script itself and the pitch. It's a combination, you know, because we already read your script, so I know what you're talking about. I know the strengths in your script. I just wanted to ask about something very technical, the obstacle that is in her, like facing her during the day, the makeup that is not there, the bag that didn't reach. Is there a specific makeup for eczema, or she just puts like any foundation that she could have bought from a shop before going to the event?
No, because she has a dermatological condition, it's generally a specific makeup. And she's flown in from somewhere, so she would probably need a prescription. She would probably need to sort those things out. And she is getting late for the event, so she's unable to do that. And also, it kind of highlights how desperate she is at the end, because she uses the concealer just because she's so desperate, even though she knows that it's not suited for her and not suited for her skin type and her condition.
Yeah, yeah, because it kept me thinking while reading, why didn't she solve her problem?
Yes.
It would, like the film would have ended there. Put some makeup and go to the event.
Yes.
You know, and it didn't show really that she's in that very specific you know, condition where she cannot use anything else, because it really for me was like, go to a shop, buy those makeup, and the film is over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The obstacle is not strong enough the way it's treated in your script. But otherwise, that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sophie. Tracy, yes.
Hello.
Yeah,
Can
go.
you hear me? Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, congratulations, well done. I know it's very intimidating being up there on stage, so I think you did a marvellous job, and also to start the pitches is also hard because you roll in, so congratulations. I think just a couple of comments. I agree with Rami. I think that one of the things I wrote down when I read your script and during your pitch was motivation, ? And I think that the where you've related it back to your personal situation, I think if you had started with that, there would be a connection with your audience or with who you're pitching to kind of really understand what motivated you to do this story. And it's very empowering to talk about something that is very personal and is, you know, can be uncomfortable. And you know, there's obviously situations in the past that you can draw on for your script, and you can really see that when you read the script. I love any kind of story with a positive impact. It's empowering. It's about self-worth. It's about, you know, it's not about looks. It's about what's inside. So I'm gold star for that. I think one of the things that struck me is that you, as part of your pitch, talked about the film and not the script. So I think you can visualize this film, right? You can see it in your head, which I think is a great kind of attribute to have when you're pitching, is that it's not just talking about a piece of paper with words on, but you can see in your mind that this is a film. So that was great. I produce for Comedy Central, so humour in you know, with adversity is fantastic, and I can relate to those comedic situations. I kind of had in my head when I was reading a bit of a Jennifer Lawrence, kind of constantly stumbling. I think maybe with the glass door and the fall in the boardroom and then again at the end, maybe there could have been a slightly different comic situation just to kind of broaden.
Break up the thing.
It would be one comment. And I think that I agree with Sophie, is that some of the questions, I think when you're immersed in a very personal situation, it's very obvious to you the kind of medical condition or what exactly you need to kind of overcome that challenge. I think as a reader and someone who's not necessarily well versed in that situation, there maybe a few more kind of details just to kind of confirm what you needed. And I think that combining maybe the emotional feeling that I understand that with eczema, when you're stressed or when you're nervous, it makes it kind of worse, is that would have been really nice to see Zara also kind of have that, that it's not just about the makeup and you cover it up, but how her kind of emotions trigger, and it's like a circle.
It's psychosomatic.
Exactly. Yes. But congratulations and well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Great, so we broke the ice. And the next project is called Unexpected Holiday, and it's presented by Sajida Al-Mualemi. She's living in Abu Dhabi, and she's from the Emirates. So let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, can you hear me? Fine. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sajida Al-Mualemi, and I'm from the United Arab Emirates. I'm a writer. I published a novel 1 year ago, and I write also articles in a Ru'ya newspaper. The people who knows my writing and is familiar with my writings, they know that I'm really interested in parenting, women, mothers especially, and family in general. And as a mom of 3, and from the day one I became a mother, my children were like #1 for me. So it hurts me when I see a negative thing that happens in my community as an Emirati. The idea that came to me for all my writings, when I see something that hurts me, so I think of writing about it. And writing a film is going to be more powerful, especially with the idea that I see it like separating I see it a lot in my community where they think that nannies now should take care of the kids, and it's not our job to take care of our kids. Lots of people do it. That doesn't mean it's right. I just want to put my finger on it and say, just please stop. It's time to look back and think about your kids. And that's what made me first think about this movie. But I didn't want to say it in a mean way, so it's a family comedy. I chose Eid. Eid is a celebration we make after Ramadan. When we celebrate that, khalas, we can fast, we can finish our fasting now. So most of the UAE people, we have like a plan. We go to our grandparents, and then we do like inside tourism in our country. If we're from Abu Dhabi, we go to Dubai, and that's it. And this is how the 3 days go. So we start the movie with this typical Emirati family, 2 parents in their 30s. They have 3 kids. They live in Abu Dhabi, and they plan to go to Dubai for the holidays. But in the morning, they discovered that the nannies are gone. So the mom in a situation that, okay, I'm going to cancel the trip because no way I'm going. This is the kind of a mother who really cares about her appearance of her children, and she always wants to be clean, and she thinks a lot about what people are going to say about her look. So no way that she's going through all of this alone, especially that she's not used to taking care of her kids alone. She decides to cancel the trip, but after the begging and the crying of the kids, she needs to do it, but she agrees to do it, but only in one condition: Dad should help. Dad goes on with her because he doesn't want to argue, so he said, okay, I'm going to help you. But inside him, it's her job, but I'm going to say yes. They go to the grandparents' house. More pressure comes on her because all the ladies think that this is a very crazy and stupid idea to go along with the kids to the trip. But she gets scared, but she needs to do it now for her kids. They go on the trip as any usual Emirati family. Children are fighting. They go to the petrol station for the toilet. When they go out, children taking food and chocolate. The mom goes through things that she's not used to do it. As I said before, they reach to the hotel. The children want to go to the swimming pool. Mom can't go to the swimming pool and enjoy her time because she needs to stay in the hot water with her abaya. And believe me, it happens. And we're suffering about it. And Dad is enjoying his time in the swimming pool. I'm feeling jealous. This is what I feel. And then what makes things worse, that she sees her friend that gossips a lot. When she's doing a very disgusting thing with her boy, she has a small boy, Rashid, he's 6. Sorry for that, but he sneezes, boogers comes out of his nose. The boogers comes like near his mouth, so she needs to solve the situation. She takes her shela, and it happened to me. And then she cleans his nose with her shela in front of her friend who gossips a lot. So lots of things happens to her that makes her feel like it's not her day and she's miserable. Mom, she needs to shoot herself now and die. But yeah, this is what we feel. But then she noticed things that she's a stranger to her kids. She started noticing things that she didn't notice before. Small things. Her boy likes to read, and she didn't know that. Her children can communicate in the nanny's language, and she didn't know that. Like there are some incidents happened during the film that make something hits her. And then a small incident with her daughter made her like lose it and start crying in front of her husband, who steps up when he sees his wife crying and said, please just go have fun, spa or shopping or whatever, and let me handle this. I will take care of the kids. She goes to take fun and relax a little bit, and he starts bonding with her kids. Like, he sees like, no, it's not that hard, or it's not like a miserable thing or a bad thing to be with the kids. You can enjoy it when you listen to their stories, when they sleep on your chest, so he starts enjoying it. The movie, the film ends when her daughter, this daughter, she's independent. She doesn't want her mom she doesn't trust her mom to do for her anything because she feels, maybe mom, she doesn't know it. My nannies know it. I'm independent. I can do it for myself. But for the first time, the daughter, she asked, because she went to the toilet and she needed her mom. Now she needs a female help. and there's no one except her mom. So the mom felt so happy when her daughter said, "I need you, Mom." So she goes, she helps her daughter, and at the end of the film, she feels that it wasn't a bad day at all. She smiles with her husband, and he feels the same. It wasn't that bad at all. The kids ask for the help of their parents at the same time, and both of them rushes to help their kids. This is how I end my film. I hope that you liked it, and thank you.
Yes, Tracy, you'd like to. You have the microphone.
I've
say
jumped in immediately. Well, as a mom of 3 as well, I have direct connection to this story, and I have a 6-year-old boy, so it was. I can see a lot of similarities, but some differences as well. I think that it's great that we're seeing some scripts that have a real social commentary around them. It's not just about a kind of isolated incident that no one can relate to, but something that obviously you feel very personally strong about, and that really reflects in your writing. So congratulations on that. I thought the pitch was clear. I can really visualise the story. I can see the kids and what they're doing and the kind of environment. And we've all gone to Atlantis at Eid at one point or another if you live here. So I think one comment is to have a careful balance of kind of social commentary and not for it to be perceived by your audience as negative. But I think it's a very brave stance to kind of look at something that you feel perhaps needs to be challenged in your society and kind of write about that. And I love that kind of groundbreaking kind of area to explore. I think also that kind of storyline is well-rounded across many different communities, so not just in isolation here, so it's scalable, other people can relate to it. So although it's about a particular community in a particular environment, I think that, there is a phenomena that parents are a little bit disengaged sometimes, and they may look for other caregivers, whether it's housemates here or au pairs in Europe or wherever it is. So I really like that. One other kind of comment, I think, obviously this is a very personalised script, and I can really see that. And one thing I would have liked to see a little bit more of is more description who your characters are, where the setting is, just to help that visualisation a little bit more. But great job, congratulations.
Thank you, dear.
Great, thank you. Sophie?
Yes, it's also, as a start, it's great that you're talking about or telling a story that means to you, that you have lived, so you know the ins and outs of it. What I would suggest is that I felt when I was reading, I felt so much is happening, and the events were a little bit scattered, so there's no flow of events first, and I felt it's a story that can be told in a longer format. That much happening in a short format would be overwhelming, and it won't allow you to really treat the story the best way possible. Plus the characters, I advise you to work more on the characters so they become less stereotypical. I know in your head it's a kind of caricature, it's like we are all like that, not only Emiratis. I am Lebanese, Syrians, whoever is living in this comfort zone called the UAE, have this luxury of really, relying on help at home, etc. But you have to create like more depth into these characters, so we really feel they're real. They're not just a caricature in some magazine. And then maybe if you really want to talk about this topic, create one situation that tells the story, but like one situation, not a whole day with so many details and the characters of the family, the bigger family in the beginning. This is too much to carry in that short format. One more thing, the resolution at the end. It comes in a very abrupt way. Like they immediately change those parents. They immediately, in like half a page or even less, they become understanding, they become supportive of their kids, they accept the idea that it's okay, we're without nannies. It came a little bit sudden and not justifiable.
I totally agree with you. That's so true. Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sophie. Very good feedback.
Mabruk, Sajida, on the script. I think the quality of the writing is really good, and on the pitch, which I really, really loved, you kind of owned the room for a short while, which is what a pitch and a filmmaker should try and do. I also, personally, I love projects, filmmakers or writers who have that kind of observational mindset to a society, and I really felt that in your script, but also your pitch, you almost feel that the writer is sitting, looking, watching through behind the glass window at the society, which is great. I agree with Tracy that also we need a lot more of the sort of work that has incorporates social commentary on our societies and our lifestyle. And you obviously have a strong understanding of family dynamics because you've presented that pretty well. I agree with Sophie that there's a lot happening in the script, but I think I actually liked, I think it's a matter of balance that you have to find. I like the fact that I like the evolution of the drama and the obstacles in that day for the mother, and that you involved the viewpoint of the family and his sisters and then the friend, and because we all just know what that means to an Arab woman and an Arab mother trying to kind of show that she's got her hand on the family and is in control of the situation. Also, you obviously are a comedic writer. I think you're very comfortable in the genre. So that's something that is really positive and reflects in your work as well. I agree with Sophie that the ending is sudden. It seems like there's something missing from there. And it feels like you ended at the, it's called many different things and many different, but at the all is lost moment. And then you just went to that scene with the mother and the father. It feels that there's more to the story there. Because her deciding that it was a good day is not a good enough reason to end the film and show that she has changed over her character arc. So just kind of think of that resolution a little bit more. And as you noticed that none of us have questions, we're just giving comments. I'm going to ask you one question. Did you, have you always wrote this under the title Unexpected Holiday?
No, I'm not sure about the title yet. I need to change it and think about it, and consider it again,
Obviously, a title is a working title. It doesn't matter, but I'm a believer that at some point, sometimes when you discover the story a lot more, somehow changing the title gives it a new life in your mind as well. You suddenly think of it as a different. So I would just, I don't know why it kind of stuck out. I think you could, now that you discover the story and you know what it is, and it's about the mother and her journey and her, and this kind of beautiful observational, social commentary film. See what else you come up with.
Yeah, inshallah. Thank you.
Mabruk, thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Sajida. Thank you for this great feedback. I think it will be a very, very helpful experience for them, not only a terrorizing one. Okay, so the next project is called The Turtle, and we have Sarah Dahab, Egyptian living in Dubai, pitching the project. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Dahab. I'm Egyptian filmmaker and cinematographer. I started filmmaking at Jesuit Film School and directed 2 short films. Were selected in several film festivals. One of them won a jury award 2015 at Alexandria International Film Festival. And I'm here today for my script, The Turtle. The idea for The Turtle came to my mind after I called my grandparent. And after I finished the call, I just feel my granddad, he just need to do more in life, and he can do more in life. And I would think about the old generation, our grandparents. Why dealing with them like this? We just park them in a safe place, and we take care of themselves. we can take care and we control of their lives. The film starts in old people's home. We are now in the dining room. There is 3 old friends sitting on the same table. It's the New Year Eve. They are so excited. They are waiting to see the fireworks. The manager of the home comes in and he says, today we're gonna go to a beach trip to Fujairah and we're gonna spend the whole night playing bingo. They get so disappointed. Fatima, Rahman, and Ismail. Fatima, she's a glamorous lady. She's with a fancy background, and she's very, very picky. She always complaining. Rahman, he's a scientist. He invents things, and he was bikers, and he grumpy all day. Ismail, the oldest one, he's senile. He always running after his turtle. He doesn't care about anything in his life except his turtle. On the beach trip, Ismail, as always, he lost his turtle. He followed his turtle. Rahman and Fatima follow Ismail, and they all lost. Now, they don't know, suddenly they don't know where they are, how they can get back to the group. And they didn't have any money, they didn't remember the phone for the manager of the home. And from this moment, the jury, for them, they start. Those people who thought there is no party on their lives. And they can't do anything. They are useless. But it's end up, they riding bikes, and they taking a restaurant to get free meals. And after that, it's end up them getting to a top of tower in Dubai, and they finally saw the fireworks. Ismail, Rahman, and Fatima, when they start their trip, they didn't know how it's going, how they can back, and they didn't have any idea, and they was very, very worried. But they survived that day in the end. And they did more than they expect. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Who would like to ask questions or give feedback? Rami, let's start from you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And congratulations on also another well-developed pitch. And don't worry about losing your breath. We've all been there before.
It's my first time, guys,
I don't
please.
think it. I don't think it does anything or takes away from your talent or your, skill. And it's not something that I think you get judged on in any way. So, give yourself a pat on the shoulder for getting up there and doing it. I like your story for a number of reasons. I like it because it talks about old people. I think there's not enough, generally in our region and the world, but more specifically in our region, work that is done that explores the lives of old people. We tend to, just forget about them. They're just sitting on some chair somewhere. Yeah. I think the inclusion of the turtle, this small thing that doesn't really have much meaning there. It serves the story, obviously, is something that is offbeat and quirky a little bit, and adds that element. Imagining those old people, lost in the desert and trying to make do with life, or survive that day, and with this turtle amongst them is a funny thing. I think that I felt at times that you needed to discover the characters a little bit more. I felt that they were being moved around by the writer. I felt that the writer's hand still is on the script, and I think you need to set them free and let them come to life a lot more and be different from, they're different because you tell me that they are different, but I think there's more in there. Exploration that you could do specifically with developing the characters more. Yeah, other than that, I think some of the things are a bit far-fetched that are in there, but I think once you discover the characters more, you will be able to come up with new solutions for the dilemmas and the obstacles that they are facing. Also, a small thing, if I read correctly, there is the Dubai fireworks, right?
Yeah.
But they're going to Fujairah Beach?
Yeah. The manager is like, he decide they not going to the fireworks, but they will go to...
Oh, I see. So he decides you're not going to see the fireworks, you're going to go there. Okay. So you see, I think I was having my coffee in the morning when I read this. I might have missed that. Oh. That might have not been your fault at all. Excuse me for that. I missed that point personally. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Rami. Tracy.
Thank you. Yeah, well done. I know it is intimidating and you feel very passionate about your story, but to try and get everything across to the audience.
And the minute you lost everything, happened.
I think as well that when you're a little bit overwhelmed by things, it shows that you're really invested, which is as a jury panel is great. I think just a couple of comments. Hopefully you'll take these as useful. Feel free to ignore if you don't. I think one of the challenges with this script is, as a young person writing about old people, one suggestion I may have is that you kind of connect your... I love the storyline and the commentary of old people, you know, about old people. I think that if we look at previous generations, how they cared for the older generation is exemplary, and nowadays youth kind of own the world and kind of everyone gets sort of put aside. I think if there was maybe a connection between youth and old people, it would be more connected to a bigger audience rather than it just be about old people, especially as a young person yourself. Maybe there would be a young person that could kind of connect them to the storyline. It's a huge adventure in one script. So I think I love that it was recognisable places from where we all travel to. We've all been to, I love Fujairah and the beaches there, and it's a great day trip. But to have the kind of motorbikers and the bus driver and the market guy, and it's quite a lot of information to take in. And I agree with Rami that maybe some parts are missed because of that kind of disjointed adventure. I think that the looking broader than just Dubai, you have that connection of multiple Emirates, which is great in a storyline that is linked here. And I think that, you know, to have kind of cheeky, naughty old people is great, and you can really kind of visualise them kind of missing their bus and finding their own fun and running away from paying a bill just by kind of sweet-talking a young waiter. So, great job. I think that a little bit more depth of character would be great, and a little bit less adventure and more connection going forward. But I thought it was really solid. Well done.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Great.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
When I finished reading it, the feeling that I had, first of all, as everybody said, don't worry about the pitching, but we're not going to say it again because you're going to end up worrying about the pitching. So, yeah, I felt it's a charming story. That's what I felt first. That was my feeling after I finished reading, because those three elderly people, how they're messed up, they turned out to be a successful one, they discovered the world and all of that. But at the same time, I had a very big concern regarding credibility You know, so many things are happening with them in a country that is not, like in the Arab world, no, generally, we're not left alone. If somebody has a problem on the street, their car is not working, they need help, there is a million people who come and help them. We're not mainly in the West where nobody is really, you know, looking around for people to support. Or we're in an Arab country, we're in the UAE. I had some question marks. Why are they left alone in the street for so long? And there's one part where you say they're like walking or sitting on the side, or it feels like we're not in this part of the world. It feels like we're in a different part of the world. Here, many people would stop for 3 old people and would help them. They wouldn't find that hard time to be rescued, let's say, okay? And you have that situation in the restaurant, for example. I did not understand or even believe how come the waiter, I mean, how did she end up not paying? I didn't understand that logic.
He's so goofy, this man, so he's not...
Can you explain it to me?
The waiter, he's so goofy. He's not smart enough, or you know, these guys, when you just try to talk into them and they didn't understand you, just goes away with your...
Yeah, it doesn't look that way.
Okay.
It looks like he believed her. Like he didn't look goofy or anything. It looked like he believed her and he went with the story, but then you think, how come he went with that story? It's not believable. So if you want to make him goofy, let us understand with your writing what kind of waiter we have. Maybe a little bit unlike Rami, I felt they have in their dialogues, those 3 elderly, a little bit of differences, especially with Fatima. I felt she's that, you know, snobbish, you know, and she's nagging all the time and all of that. She had that differentiation between her and the other 2 men. One more thing. Yeah. I guess that's it. Too much is happening. Too much is happening, and it tends to be exaggerated, which I would believe, but in a longer format. Like bikers and restaurant and bus and reaching, you know, Burj Khalifa and tricking the guy, telling him that they live in some floor apartment, I don't know. All of these things happening and creating question marks in our head. It alienates you, it takes you away from the story. You start asking too many questions and not digging in that exaggeration. Sometimes exaggeration works, but there are questions to be answered that you still need to find answers for. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much for your comments. It's really helpful.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Very interesting. Thank you. The next project is called Zip It. Unfortunately, it's the last project. I could go on forever. They're so interesting. It's presented by Nada El Azari, and she's originally from Egypt, living in Abu Dhabi. Let's give her a warm welcome.
See if this works. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay, cue nervousness. Okay. So how far would you go to follow societal traditions that do not work for you? And how far would you go to zip up in an ugly dress that does not fit you? My name is Nada Al-Azhari, and I'm an Egyptian writer and director. After graduating, I wanted to follow my passion in filmmaking, and I recently finished my first short film, and now I'm pitching my second script, Zip It. Sabrine, 29-year-old, lives with her 2 sisters, her younger 2 sisters, and her mother in Abu Dhabi. Her home is about to change and become a full house when an army of her relatives come to stay over for a week before her middle sister's wedding. They're all concerned about why Sabrine isn't the one getting married, and instead of focusing on the bride, they're more focused on Sabrine. Now, Sabrine is very passionate, fierce-spirited, and accomplished young lady. But when it comes to her family, there's nothing more that she wants than to please them and respect them. But her aunt makes it a little bit more harder for her when she comes in with a special suitcase, brings out this big dress. Can we see the dress? We'll see. She brings it out, hands it to Sabrine. This is the dress, the legacy dress that all the women in the family have worn before. Now, Sabrina thinks it's ugly, and it's like in this lime green colored shade that is almost vomit, if anything. And she's expected to wear it. She's the first girl to wear it in the generation. And so the pressure is on. I think her family thinks that it's really her last chance to get married. This is her lucky charm. This is what's gonna seal the deal. And so she goes in with her aunt and she tries to put on the dress and they're all squeezing it in. Sabrina's a little bit chubby and the zipper does not budge. It does not close all the way up. And so all her family go into a frenzy. Her aunts, a lot of overweight aunts, are all panicking and they need to get her into the dress and they unite on one thing. If anything, they're all like, all over the place, but they can unite on making her fit into the dress before the wedding. For example, her Aunt Samah bans her from taking the elevator. She makes her take the stairs up and down every day. She goes in, every time they go into the elevator, she sneaks in before her, closes the elevator, and then before the elevator can go up again, she presses all the floors. That's all a really good workout. I think everyone should take the stairs. But they live on the 20th floor, so that's not the best thing. Her cool aunt Mirvat makes her drink castor oil, cups of it, thinking it would be the detox that will dissolve all the fats away. It only clogs the toilet and makes everyone else wait in line for Sabrina in the toilet queue. And so they all do it in the sense of it's an undertone, it's unspoken thing that they all agree on but never really talk about it. And that really adds pressure on Sabrina. With every attempt and failed attempt to get her to fit into the dress in time, she ends up becoming more self-conscious about herself and about her body and a little bit more concerned about what her family's expectations are for her. And throughout the journey, she sees her youngest sister, Jana, who's about 14, also being affected by all of it and sort of expecting that she has to get into it and that she is also is becoming more concerned about her body and how she looks. With all the family pressure becoming more and more, Sabrina goes into a room alone, tries on the dress the night before the wedding, all alone, for the first time without any influence. It's just her, the dress, her breathing. She gets into it, and the zipper finally closes all the way up. The next day at the wedding, Sabrina is walking down behind her sister, the bride, and she looks dazzling. She's in the cream plain dress that she wanted to wear all along. And so like Sabrina, I am very much connected to my culture and my traditions, and I love my family. But I want to be able to not follow traditions blindly if they do not fit me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nada. Who's going to comment? Sophie.
Every time we look at someone, so someone has to start. Yes. Thank you, Nada. The topic is really interesting, and it's really a trap that we are all falling into in a way or another. This pressure, social, family, and all of that, especially in our societies. I wanted to talk about Sabrina. She seems to be an achiever because she has a big project, obviously, happening. She's pitching for it or presenting a proposal. She's really keen on making that project happen and succeed and all. So we see her as a person who has a very strong will, a hard worker, and she has that goal, you know, on a professional level. And then she becomes that person who is going with the flow, with whatever the family is asking her to do. So she becomes like a puppet, like a robot. She's not reacting all the way to what the family is trying to make her do, which is all related to the nice dress behind you. How is that? I mean, how do you justify that contradiction in her character? Someone who is an achiever and at the same time she's such a follower when it comes to her family, which I didn't find in the script, but how would you describe her as a character?
I think we always associate being respectful and sort of proper with family as being a little bit more timid or shy. You don't want to say everything that's on your mind because you're afraid to offend anyone. And I think that's what Sabrine tries to do a few times in the beginning. It's sort of an important thing for her family. She sees the concern on her aunts and her grandma Teta's face and like how they're dealing with it. And so she tries to accommodate that. But I think slowly what I try to, when I envision Sabrine, I try to see that she slowly finds her own way of rebelling or sort of saying, no, that's not going to work. She hints to her sister sometimes what she thinks. When the tea incident comes, she like messes it all up for them and it's sort of a disaster. I think at the end, her standing up and not wearing the dress and choosing to wear the dress she always wanted is something that she found as a smart professional. She found a way to sort of stand up for her family without offending them and without being no, like, I'm going to rip the dress or I'm just going to, like, disrespect you. Because she wants to give her sister also the option of having the choice. Does she want to wear it when she's young, when she has the choice, when she has the chance? She can. But if she doesn't want to, she doesn't need to, if it doesn't work for her.
What changed her? Like, what made her say, I don't want this dress, I'm changing it? What was the trigger? Because
I mean, she's
maybe
always,
I missed it, or
I mean, she's always she hasn't been fully convinced by wearing the dress, but she was sort of under the rug. She was sort of quiet about it and sort of went along with it. So in the beginning, she's always never wanted to wear the dress. She thought it was really ugly, and she never really wanted to be part of it. And she was a bit silent in the beginning, but she slowly became more vocal about it towards the end.
I think you need a trigger that really changes her, because we know she hates it from the beginning, but she only acts at the end, but there is no clear trigger that makes her say, I don't want it now. I'm changing it. I'm not wearing that dress. So just something that really gives her that power. Not that very subtle change you're talking about throughout the film. One more thing. Yeah, I found there are too many characters. I don't know if it was only me, but I couldn't keep up with the names. Who is who? Maybe visually that would help, but too many characters. I don't know what role they're playing in the story. If they are important to be there, or only important to say we have a wedding and everybody is there. So we're mentioning those many characters equally, but they're not really doing big differences in the flow of the story. So that's also something to think about for that short format.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you very much. Tracy.
Congratulations, well done on a great pitch and the first person to walk up and down, so that's nice. And visualization always works. That's kind of the dress that I had in my head, which is a horrible dress. I have to agree with Sophie on some of her points. I think the wedding, I kind of missed at the start. I wasn't quite sure why everyone descended, and I understood kind of halfway through that the tradition of wearing a dress at a wedding meant that then you would kind of attract a groom. But I think maybe to kind of set the situation a little bit clearer at the start, so we know Sabrine is the older sister that has a wedding kind of coming for a younger sibling, which we know for women is sometimes a challenge. I love the symbolism of the green dress. I kind of started out reading this, I thought it was a fat story. I thought everyone was fat and, you know, that was where you were going. And actually, it's the symbolism of the green dress and trying to balance tradition with kind of what's in your heart, which I love, that kind of empowerment story. I think maybe less about, there's lots of weight references I found in the script, maybe to diversify, so it's not just about her fitting in the dress, but that she doesn't want to wear it. So I understand that you were trying to link the two. Yes, she can zip it up, but she doesn't want to kind of wear it. But I thought there was a little bit too much weight reference rather than tradition reference. But I understand it was symbolism as well. I agree that the kind of change, and I love that kind of statement at the end that she comes in the cream dress, and this is her kind of saying to her family, I'm with you, I respect you, but I don't want to wear that monstrosity. But I think maybe a bit more development of that and less kind of characters in and out and situations may have just turned it to kind of mature the storyline a little bit more. But yeah, the pressure of tradition versus being true to how you feel is a great sort of base for a storyline, and I really enjoyed it, so well done.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks, Nada and Mabruk. Again, I think your pitch was really lovely, and it was very light-hearted, and I love the visual element, and as Tracy said, you know, you kind of, you know, waltzed across the stage, which was really nice. And actually what I want to tell you is I think that what you need to do is you need to write in the same style that you pitch. Because you have a beautiful story and you have a beautiful concept. It's way overwritten, way overdeveloped. I think you got stuck on, with as Sophie said, with so many characters. And at the moment they're being, you know, I couldn't remember who is smirking, who's looking away, who looks down, who does this, who does that. I mean, it just starts to feel that the actors are parrots in the film, and actors are not parrots, and no actors would want to be treated like parrots. So just be really, really careful of that. I mean, I think, not to take away anything from the story, but I think you can completely reapproach the story with a new headspace. And as I said, you have a beautiful way and language and style when you pitch. Write in that style. That's what makes you different. I also agree with Tracy that there's a bit of a, and please don't take these comments as all just negative, take them as comments to improve upon something that is really good already. I think you have a beautiful story, and you've managed to discuss something that is really boring and mundane and no one wants to talk about, which is tradition, in a very nice way. You've visualized the dilemma of the hero, you know, like a little bit the turtle did, but with yours even more, because it's actually, it's physical, it's there, it's like this looming, you know, thing over the head of the hero, following her everywhere she goes, which is great. But I think you've fallen in the trap of having too many characters and trying to always go back to see who is doing what and how they're reacting. And, you know, in the early years of writing, writers can do that. You know, as Sophie said, if they're not important to the story, I actually don't even need to know their name. Bunch of kids sit around watching the action. That's all I need to know, nothing more. You don't need to go back to them. Yeah, and I agree that the change in the change in her needs to be something that is, something more has to happen for her to do that, to change, to make that decision. And I don't think it can be subtle. Because this is her standing up against, and standing up to her family, she's standing up to society and her culture and in the face of everyone. So it needs to be, the action that she does can be small, because often people think that when you do stand up, you have to do something huge and big, but actually not. But what causes you to go to there in a story, for a story to work, for it to follow a beautiful dramatic arc, has to be really, really strong. And then the action can be what she did, but the reason she gets there, I think, is something that we need to work on. But, you know, I would not, you know, yeah, overall, I think it's beautiful. Also, look, I'm a self-declared feminist, and I support, a huge supporter of women in film. I don't know if it's a coincidence that all the projects have been by women in this year's AFS.
Yeah, we eliminated the men completely.
Oh, yeah. I think soon we're going to start a men's movement to counter. but, you know, I love that it's a woman's story. I think women's stories are really beautiful and engaging, and, you know, it's very open. Concentrate a lot more on that and on all these beautiful, colorful characters that you have in the story, and a lot less about the names and what they're doing, and if they're smirking and. But well done, again, you know, very creative, and beautiful pitch. Mabruk.
Thank you so
Nada.
much. Thank you.
So thank you, panel. You were very, very precise. You did your homework. You read them so thoroughly, the scripts. Congratulations. Thank you very much for your feedback. I personally believe that pitching is a very strong development tool. And I think this will help them really develop their scripts into something really strong. Congratulations to the script writers and filmmakers. You did a great job. I'm very proud of you.
And
thank you.
Stefano, obviously, congratulations to you as well, because you mentored them over 3 days on these pitches. And, you know, they're young filmmakers, and they got up there in front of this audience. It's a traumatizing experience. We've all been there, and testament to you as well. So thank you very much for helping them with these preparing these beautiful and engaging pitches.
And to Alicia for helping them with the scripts. We know it's a hard task. Alicia, you helped them with the scripts, right?
Alicia manages the whole program.
Oh, Zain, you developed the scripts. Yeah, hard task. Thank you.
I'll pass over now to Alicia and Zaid for the prize, the certificate giving. When will the winner of the award be announced?
So, well, thank you all very much for hearing our pitches, and the award will be given out tomorrow in the main Dubai Film Festival award ceremony. So if you're there, you know the projects now. I hope you root for one of them. And there's 4 other writers. This program was for 8 writers, as they told you. And now we're going to give certificates for all 8 writers. So if you are looking for, to know more about stories, please check with the other writers, because we had such a hard task this year of selecting 4 out of 8. We ended up with our fantastic 4 ladies here, but they're all great in the group. So you'll get to meet them in a second.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. So for those of you who didn't know Alithia, this is who she is. I'm a fan of her. She's like the star of AFS, really. Okay, guys. So please, writers, please, writers, get close. We're going to give you the certificates. So first of all, Nada El-Azhari. Okay, Sajda Al-Muallimi, Unexpected Holiday. Kamna Mohan, Skin Deep. Ali Qasim, Penguins Don't Fly. Sachin Augustine, D.I. Sara Dahab, The Turtle. Let's do the other one now. And Hamda Al-Midfa, The Auction. There's one more participant that couldn't be with us today. Her name is Dareen Albaw, and her film was Noor and Hadi. All right. Thank you all very much. And please, and there goes Dareen Albaw. Okay. Please, guys, spread the word. We always get a lot of submissions for AFS. Some of these writers came in with 0 experience, never wrote a script, never directed anything for other programs, and they leave with something substantial that they can take and move forward with, like with their careers, and be a great starting point. So we'd love your support in spreading the word and giving us more of these, sending our way more of these wonderful filmmakers. Thank you.
من عمان بده يصور هون. يلا بتصورين قبل تفلي ابيتشر ما مش قهر. هذا ايش ليش السيلفي؟ برومي قلبي ساعديه هند. هاي نصور. يلا زيحي هنود جين.
Thank you, حبيبتي. Of course.
Thank you so much.
بس ناخد هيدا عشان ما نضلك على القلب فيها. Congratulations.